just tuned into the Adventures of Sanpriest. Now sit back and enjoy the ride.
But you know, the Adventures of Sanpriest may be the stepping stone to fixing the world.
Oh, it is. My love is real. My love is genuine. What you feel from miles away, you feel this, baby. Okay. I don't know why I just got. Hello. Welcome to.
We are getting shit done.
It's fucking spiders. Okay. Edit. Hello and welcome to. I got this. Professional Jeremy. Show off your shirts. Put your chest up. Okay, great. Hello and welcome to another adventure of the Sanpriest of Adventures. I just have not done this in a while.
That's okay. Bullshit.
I'm calling bullshit. I'm the vibe. I can feel what you feel. Let me take control of the high. All you gotta do is let me love you one time. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Adventures of Sanpriest. I am your host, Sanpriest, and we have, let me tell you, we have a special guest. When I say special, he may not be special to you, but he is damn sure special to me, because this is my man, Jeremy Turgeon, aka the Brass Man Reptiles. Brandon, we out here Brandon, baby. He got me a shirt. Look, it says Black Unicorn Entertainment. Y'all pay attention to this name because it's really going to be worth millions and millions of dollars, or my booty hole isn't brown. Oh, this is about to be great. I'm Ashley. Woo, black people problems, baby. But yes, carry on. I always bring my purse. Please introduce yourself to the world.
It's just the fact that this is happening right now.
The show must go on.
I'm here for it. Here for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So we're going to try this again.
Yeah,
Jeremy, introduce yourself to the world.
So, what's up? My name is Jeremy, aka Brass Man Reptiles. Yeah. That's
AKA my man.
AKA his man.
Well, Jeremy, thank you for joining this podcast. First of all, you mean the world to me. You are not only genuinely sweet, I think you are handsome, I think you are kind, but also you are cool as fuck. You do so many cool things, and when I first met him, all I knew was the horn, which I would like for you to definitely discuss your music first.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been playing trumpet as you know, for a very long time.
20 years!
Yeah, about 20 years. But I started when I was in middle school and didn't think I was going to pursue it as a career.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I was finishing high school when I was like, yeah, this might be a valid opportunity.
Okay.
And then ended up going to Berklee College of Music in Boston. Left Berklee in 2014, put a band together, and just started working in my hometown in Springfield, Mass. From that point, starting 2015 to now, I've had the chance to work on multiple albums, and that's really, we just discussed, really been where I find the most joy is working in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
From working with local artists and kind of regional artists all the way through jazz legends like Avery Sharp, most recently Tyrese. That led to some other things that I can't really talk about publicly, but yeah, it's kind of been crazy. If I was to go back and tell my 11-year-old self, hey, you're gonna be in the room with some crazy musical people, I'd be yeah, play a trumpet.
Huh.
But yeah, here we are, 20 years later.
20 years in the game. You also ruined one of my questions because I was going to ask, like, what would you tell your younger self? But we already know.
Oh,
Don't do drugs and don't.
Wow.
But anywho,
Screaming.
so fun fact, I tried band.
Mm-hmm.
And the first instrument that I was going to play, take a guess.
Saxophone.
Really? Do I look like a sax player?
I can see you as a sax player.
I can see me being like real sexy with the sax.
And now I'm changing my guess.
No, it was actually the trombone.
Really?
Yes, and could you imagine? I was 10 times shorter than what I am now, and I had to lug. No, it was fuck the this. I didn't have long enough arms to reach all of the chords, but the most frustrating thing was trying to ride the school bus with a trombone.
Case, yeah.
And I was already getting picked on for being,
Screaming.
But now here I am trying to lug a trombone. They're like, yeah, let's kick the little guy with the trombone that also may or may not be gay. We know he's gay. But
Screaming.
so I just tossed that to the side and I just maybe I could sing. So excited to have you on the show. Yes, musically you are such a dope person. It makes sense to tell how I met you. So we were doing a show. I forgot what city. Do you remember the city?
It was Winston-Salem, and the only reason I remember is because Ty called me the day of, like 2 hours before, to come sub.
Okay.
For that gig.
And for those of you who don't know who Ty is, because he likes to name drop a lot of people, like we know them. I don't know Ty, but if I did know Ty, I would think Ty was like a tall guy who's also a loser, who I also think is pretty okay on the bass. No, Ty is actually an amazing guy.
That's not a guitar thing to do, but okay.
I bet you could do it on the bass.
Okay.
So like I was saying, Ty is okay.
This is all this episode is going to be, is just laughs and bad jokes.
Oh, I love dad jokes.
Same.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dad.
Dad who?
Dad jokes.
It's your laugh that makes that funny.
Well, that's what makes dad jokes better. Okay. I didn't enjoy the joke, but you thought I did.
No.
Dad joke. Or dad joke.
Screaming.
But anywho, so it's great that you got to work with some phenomenal people like Tyrese and some other artists I may or may not know. But I just think that your career is taking off. But for me, getting back to us meeting each other, the gig was in Winston-Salem. He got called out, like he was saying, last minute. I'm already there because I'm always there and I'm usually on time. Black man on time. Boom. We do it here. But yeah, so I'm downstairs. I'm recording myself being fly as always in a really nice outfit. And I had this white guy in the back just blowing this trumpet. Did not even realize that I noticed him, but me didn't pay him no attention. Y'all saw that hair flip. Sometimes it's an eyebrow flip too. But I just like put him in my video and I was like, okay, cool. And that's when the plan started. So as time progressed, mind you, I didn't know he was gay, but you never know. But also I'm not that type of guy who just goes out of his way and say, hey, I'm gay. We should do butt stuff. That's just not my thing. I prefer for my prey to come to me.
Wow.
But anyways, knew absolutely nothing about the guy. I just thought he was cute, and I thought that the way he played that horn just with warming up was really nice. So this segment in the show where it's just me, and then I'll pass it off to you and let you give your reviews on my show.
Well, before I even step down that lane, because y'all already know he's dope. Y'all been paying attention to these episodes. Y'all already know he's dope. I've gotten to experience it firsthand multiple times. That part of the show, I was already like, he cute, but I was trying to just, be cool. I got hired for a job, so I was just trying to be cool, but I was like, yeah, he cute.
I'm over here flushing. And I think I almost had a spider
screaming. But yeah, so he did his segment of the show, and I'm just over here like, This dude can sing, he fly, he fine. And I'm like, he can sing. Like, yeah, he can sing his ass off. I was like, okay, let's see where we at. But but I'm gonna deviate just for a moment because you got to give me some of my flowers, but I need to give you some of yours. You are absolutely a gem.
Aww.
You are
Thank you.
amazing. Like, no, I'm gonna say it because it's true. Like, I've gotten to see you from that moment to everything else that we've experienced on the road, literally.
Yeah.
Um,
I drove.
his choice.
Yeah, because it was your day.
No,
You
I
your
know,
day.
but I've literally we've been in multiple iterations of work, and to see how you work, to see you create the ideas you create, like,
Oh, yeah,
it's been it's been a pleasure to watch, and I'm excited to get to see more of it. Like we've been talking about, working on more of your music, working on some of my projects and stuff. So yeah, I'm just excited to see more of that, and I'm thankful that you even let me into that part of your life from the beginning, because you definitely didn't have to do that. And as an artist, I know that when you're talking about something that you create, like, it's a vulnerable place. Like, a lot of times, even if it's not like an emotional song per se, it comes from a place of vulnerability. Like, you're expressing yourself in that way. So a lot of times people don't want to let folks in, especially until it's like a finished product. So thank you for letting me in to that space and see your creative process. And I'm excited to be able to see more of that and do more of that with you.
Well, you know me. If I could blush, I'll be purple right now. Because black people, we don't turn red, we turn purple. I First of all, thank you. You are too kind to me. You have been the first person. I got to get back to finishing the story.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I deviated. I apologize.
It was worth it because now it's just going to segue into how I'm going to pour into you. We pour here, you guys. That's what you call healthy. So after that, okay.
Screaming.
But after that, I laid my trap. I was like, but after, well,
and I didn't even know,
baby, laid my trap. One of the guys in the band, they were like, "What you think about the trumpet player?" Me playing it off, playing it cool. I was like, "He was okay, he was cool," but in my mind, I was like, "Oh, he was really like dope." And so, I posted something on Instagram and it tagged Ty, and I tagged Ty, who I knew was the only reason why Jeremy was on the band. So, posted a video of Ty. Ty reshared it like I knew he fucking would. And I guess maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, I got a friend request and I got a DM. Yeah, y'all, he slid in my motherfucking DM.
Screaming.
And then we started to talk. We tried, and through conversation, I was like, okay, tell me a little bit more about yourself. And he's like, well, of course I play the trumpet. I've been doing this for a while, and I also breed snakes. Wow. First question.
Is it legal?
Is this legal? Because I've been working my ass off for everything that I have, and I don't need no cute white Italian man to come in here and just fuck all that up. I don't care what you say, how nice you are. Can't fuck this up. But seeing that that's not his ministry and that's not what he was here for, I got to know him better. Went to this open mic thing because he invited me to it, and I tried out my song for the first time. And he was the first instrumentalist ever in my life to just hop on a song that I was performing and put live music to it. So, I know I'm telling the story.
That was my trap.
Was it?
No. It was just a dope song.
Oh, no, I'm blushing. But the horns, because even when I post the video, which I'm gonna post that snippet on here, the horns just elevates the music in a way where it just makes my heart flutter. And that's why I was just like, I really love the tune that you play. Fuck everything else. Ha. I love your tune and I love to bounce to your beat. Ha.
Now the dad jokes are coming.
No, that wasn't a dad joke. That was a sexual innuendo. I don't even think I said the word right.
You did not.
Innuendo. Where was I? You can't do this to me.
sorry. Talking about coming to the open mic, I played
first person to just like put live music on my music, and it woke something up in me that was just dope, and it made me feel like for the first time I felt heard, I felt seen. I felt like I was overlooked for years, always writing, always wanting to do more, just didn't know how to do more. But I've been collecting music for years, you guys. I have like thousands and thousands of songs. Maybe not thousands and thousands, but at least 115,000 songs in my repertoire that I'm just ready to express with you guys one day. But after that, me and Jeremy were still talking on Instagram, and I was like, "So, are you gonna ask me on a date or not?" And eventually, he asked in the same conversation, because you don't make things like this wait, because I didn't make you wait. But you don't make things like this wait. So he took me to this really cool restaurant that was downtown. I know I'm doing all the talking, but this is just, I'm so excited, and I'm gonna cut it, I promise. Took me to this really cool restaurant downtown, and I was
Cellar.
Yes. And then I'll pass the torch. I'll let you take it from there.
No, it's fine.
Because you don't remember. So after that, I took him to my favorite location.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I let him share. Well, that's when I shared my music with him. 15 seconds in, he's already texting people like, "Oh no, this is dope. This guy is dope. How would you feel about this?" And I'm just sitting there like, this can't be fucking real.
Yeah, I literally, so he played me like 10 or 15 seconds of a couple different songs, and I asked if he minded if I took like a 10-second video clip or whatever so that I could send to a couple people.
Which I gotta find. I think I still got that, so I'm gonna post that too.
And he was like, no, that's fine. So I recorded it, and I reached out to my music director, or one of my really close friends, my buddy Jerome, up in Massachusetts, which is where I'm originally from, and was like, "We got some work to do."
He did.
And I reached out to my buddy Poncho in LA. He's an amazing bass player, and then just was like, "We got work to do," because I was dumbfounded when you were like showing me all this stuff, and I was like, where is it? Like, where can I hear this? And you're like, "I don't have anything out. Like, people don't fuck with me like that." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is dope. Like, this music is dope. These hooks are dope. Like, the more you let me listen to, like, the more I was hearing your ability to stretch and be diverse in what you were creating." And I was like, all of these sound dope. Like, I don't think there was one that you showed me that I was like, I don't think I had that moment. I don't think so. Like, everything that I had heard, I was like, this is dope. Because I also understand, again, being an artist as well, like, I get the concept of like hearing something in a demo versus the vision of what it should be live. So when you're like, "Oh, this isn't done yet," or like, "I still have to do these harmonies or whatever," I'm like, yeah, I don't that part I don't care about, because I'm like what I hear in the raw state already gives me an idea of where it's going to be finished. So I was already locked in on it. So that's why I was like, "No, we got work to do." And I was like, "You need live musicians."
And I was like, "Live musicians? What do you mean?"
And I was like, "I got a guy."
Which, from getting to know my baby daddy, when I have a question about anything, it's always these two things: 20-something years, or I got a guy.
Screaming.
And he always has a guy. But it's crazy. And actually, I think I didn't share my music with you on the first date. I didn't. I shared it with you because the first date we were downtown and we were gonna go to the car, and someone like smashed.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were down. You're right. It wasn't the first date. It was
was
like
my birthday.
Yes, it was your birthday.
My birthday was a couple of, maybe like a week or two later.
Not even.
Well, yeah, it wasn't. It was like a few days.
Like a week tops.
Yes, but we were having conversations prior to. And the one thing I had told Jeremy, I was like, a lot of people don't fuck with me like that. So, but I invited people to come out to have karaoke with me. That's when the only person that showed up was Jeremy. Only person to show up.
And I almost didn't. I almost didn't because I had seen you post about being there and everything, and I still really didn't know anything about you.
He thought I had tons of friends and like I had this major, massive supportive group, and I'm just like, no, I'm just me.
Right. So the first date, we went to the cellar,
Love the seller.
and then we were just wandering. We were just kind of walking up and down uptown, and then we were gonna go back to my car. And as we were walking towards my car, some random person, I don't know who they were or whatever, just like threw a glass bottle on the ground, probably like 10 feet from my car. So we were both like, well, turned our asses right back around.
And we kept walking, mind you, doing some gay shit, holding hands, which was new for me, which 32, I know that's odd, but I like appreciated it. I was like, oh, this guy is like so nice and so romantic. He does things like this. Stop before they beat us up. But he does things like this, and I thought it was cool. It was cool to experience and get to know you. But the icing on the cake was on my birthday. I did tell people like, hey, I'm having this thing where I would like for you guys to come show up. I'm just doing karaoke. It's inexpensive. It's free. Just show up. And
so I almost didn't show up because I thought he was going to have this whole group of people to show up, and I'm like, I'm the new guy that like he just started talking to. I don't want to intrude on that space if he's got friends that are going to be there. I don't want it to be like, I don't want to be in the midst of that and create any sort of distraction or anything like that.
And what did I say to you?
Well, you're like, yeah, nah, like I don't really have people that are going to show up like that. But again, I know people that'll say that, and then I'll show up to places and it's like 50 people in there. So that's been my experience. I'm also paying attention to like your social media following and those numbers and everything. So I'm like, okay, so like some people are going to show up. But I was like, nah, you know what? I really think he's dope. And I'm going to at least go down and buy him a shot for his birthday. And if we have a couple words for each other, cool. And then, I'll vibe and then dip.
Only person to show up. Literally sat there and he was like, do you want to, like, we sat at the bar for a little bit, held each other's hand, which I thought was sweet. And he was like, are you hungry? I can always eat. That's the one thing about me. I can always eat.
Screaming.
So we literally went next door to
Jack Beagle?
Jack Beagle's, and we just sat and talked. We talked for a good little while, and then that's when we left.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when we went uptown.
I think so, yeah.
I was like, because I didn't want the date to end. And so we went uptown, and I took him to my favorite location. It's a private spot, but it's like really high up, and the stars were out. It's very gay. The stars were out. The moon was out. It was a clear sky. And then he started trying to name drop. Not like
screaming.
He did though, but you did.
No, I'm not denying that. But what did I tell you about that for me?
Fair. What did I tell you about for me?
No, I get that.
We can't say what I say because it's pretty offensive.
Screaming.
But I didn't know that he was trying to test me in the process. He's like, well, I've worked with people like this and people like that. And in my mind, I'm just like, that don't got shit to do with me getting to know you. That's just you just dropping names. And the one thing I don't want in life is to just, I don't move with this intention to use people. I'm not a pretentious person. Is that the right word? Right word. Pretentious person. Pretentious. Now I fucked it up. But that's not how I move. I don't use people to get ahead of life because I want to be proud of my work that I've done. And I was like, that's really cool. And then we just carried on with the conversation.
And from my place where I was coming from with that was like, I am very used to being around spaces where people like freak out about that and then that kind of stuff. And then like the follow-up questions that come tell me a lot about what I'm going to get from that person. Like if it's like, I say somebody like Tyrese or whatever, and then suddenly it's like, now every other question has to either do with that experience or how they can get involved in whatever I'm doing. And
there's only one name that you mentioned to me that just gets me going, child. I just might have to leave for a day. I'll come back, baby. I promise. I'll come back to you. Maybe. I'm just kidding. Other than that, I ain't going nowhere.
Screaming.
I'm just kidding.
Screaming.
Wouldn't. Stop. Don't you change that dial. The Adventures of Sanpriest will be right back. In the meantime, please enjoy a few episodes from Black Unicorn Entertainment. I don't feel great at anything. I just don't know what to say, what to do. Life is just life, man. It's like every time I step out the house, it's just sadness and shit. And I just be trying my best to just live my best life, but it's always somebody keeping me down. Man, damn, fam. Ah! Hello, and welcome. Welcome to Cherokee. I am so excited to bring this information to you. I know a lot of people out here in this world has been stressing, worried about what's gonna happen next. A lot of people just want to give up, but I'm telling you right now, don't. Simple. And if that doesn't work, I'll invite you to Cherokee. I will tell you why Cherokee works first. I am a professional at this. I got my doctorate degree in psychology on August 5th, 2023, and it was such a monumental occasion. Everyone was there to see. People even swam there just to get there to congratulate me. And I'll tell you now that I know this method works. All it takes is a swing and a pound, and you are in there. Talk about Pound Town. Baby, I've been pound tounding my way to success, and I'm here to help you. We don't play that. Just gonna quit and never be successful ever again. Cherokee. Wow. Cherokee.
Yo, I know you would like to be a guest on the Adventures of Sanpriest. Make sure you follow him on Instagram at SANPRIEST__ and tell him, I want to be a part of this show. What do I have to do? And I promise you, he'll send you all the details that you need. Now, back to the Adventures of Sanpriest.
Never. But no, that's when I started to at least feel comfortable. I forgot how we got on the conversation. Oh, because a lot of people didn't show up for my birthday and Jeremy was the only person to show up, it opened up a conversation because he was shocked. He's like, I just thought that you would have like a bigger like fan base or just friends in general. And I was like, it's not the fact that I don't have friends, but I have been in spaces where I did not feel loved or feel like people appreciated or wanted to help me versus using me. So I started to protect myself as much as possible, but I don't care who you are, I will take time to share my music because in my mind I'm like, if I give up, then that means my dream just fails. So I just went out on a limb and I was like, well, do you want to hear some of my music? And he was like, cool. And that's when I like played a few of my videos for him. But the first video I played, he was already stopped. He stopped me in my tracks and was like,
I'm like, you need live musicians. Like, you need to put this with a live band.
Never would have even thought about it. And he picked the first song. He picked She's Bad. Not only did he pick it, but in my mind, I'm just like, people always say, well, that's a dope song. And I was like, I want to work on this or whatever, work with you. Literally, what was it like the next week?
Yeah.
Next week, I'm getting a audio file with my song that I wrote. Mind you, I already had the instrumental
with the horns.
Yeah, like I already had the instrumental for it, and there's horns on it. And I'm just like, oh, this shit is really happening. What? Like, because it blew my mind that somebody actually took time to be kind to me. To also just acknowledge me because you are so dope within yourself. And as you said during meeting, you've worked with so many people, but you still took time to like show a little kindness to me. Even if we didn't date, I still feel like you would have been kind to me, and I appreciate you for all of your many talents and gifts because of you taught me things and you showed me how to grow myself because I admire you so much. Like you're a man of business. You know your shit. You know music. You know reptiles, which we're about to get into. But I've been paying attention to you for months. Excuse me, the water, which is sad to say. Okay. Also, you guys, sometimes there's certain bottles of water that you drink that is acidic. So be mindful of the waters that you drink. Anyways, but yes, Nichelle Mungo told me this.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true.
Shout out to Michelle Mango. But no, we love you.
Yay!
But yes, anyways, you've been nothing but kind and helpful, and it's just rare that you find a space where someone's love language is acts of service as well. You just instantly dived in on everything that I've dropped in your lap without hesitation, and I just appreciate you for that. And you know me, if I can help you any way, I will. I don't do nothing. I'm just black, cute, and handsome, and I play the spoons. Don't do them well. But no, you are just a phenomenal person. But like you guys, if you do take time, pay attention to the fact that this man not only can play the horn, but he is a fierce vocalist. Like vocal ability and range for days. Clear tones is what I like to refer to Jeremy as. Just clear tones, especially when he sits in his tenor, it just sails. With that being said, speaking of sales, we need to sell his music. He has some really dope music out, you guys, and I would love for you to talk about it.
Oh boy. Okay. So
I did that.
Wow. Okay, so I've got I've got an EP, a full album, and then a single that are out right now. My first EP I put out in 2015 with my original quartet. It was called New Journey. And it was a new experience for me. It was the first project that I had ever put together as a band leader. I co-wrote everything with my keyboard player Jerome, and one of the songs was also written by my original bass player Forrest Loomis Dulong.
That's a really nice name. And also shout out to Jerome. We love Jerome.
Yeah, Jerome's dope. But that was kind of like I had moved back home, put the band together, and we started gigging a lot. A lot of it because when I was in high school, our band program did a lot of the city events and all of that stuff. And I was never afraid to jump up in front to take a solo, because I just enjoyed doing that. So a lot of people in the city knew who I was already. So when I came back and put the band together, I was like, hey, I've got a band. Like, we want to play shows. They were like, yeah, let's do this.
Let's do it,
but so between that and the fact that Jerome comes from a family of musicians. Jerome's dad is a phenomenal piano player. His brother is an amazing drummer. His other brother is a phenomenal lyricist. The Pitts family name carries a lot of weight in Springfield, Mass. So when it came time to actually putting shows together, it was really easy to do.
Okay.
So we got that traction, and people were asking us, when are you guys putting out an album? When are you guys putting out an album? So we kind of bum rushed some shit.
Oh, you got to tell them the CD.
Oh, gosh. So I learned a lot during that process. But so we recorded. Jerome had a studio space in Springfield, not far from we both lived pretty close to each other. So he had a space not too far away. So we recorded everything in that space. And we were like, we're going to have an album release concert in this venue. It's going to be dope. We're going to have a great time, whatever. So we do it, but then we're like, we want to have copies of this, physical copies of this record, because we released it digitally, but for the album release, we're like, we're not really selling tickets or anything for this, but we want to try to make a little bit of money, so we'll sell some CDs. So I had some friends in the back of the room with a multi-port CD burner, and they're burning the CDs, stamping the stamp on the record and putting the sleeve in the jewel case while we're doing the show. One of them gets jammed, and like when we had taken a break, like they're like pulling me into the back, they're like, it's jammed, we don't know what to do. I'm like, fuck that, man, just make more records. Like,
leave that one alone.
Yeah,
focus on the ones that work.
Exactly. So it was ridiculous. We almost didn't have enough to sell to people.
which is dope.
Which was dope, but also we could only make X number at a time, so
We got 2.
and yeah, exactly. But it was like that project was like a 35 or 40-minute record, so it took time to burn that onto a CD.
Was it like LimeWire and stuff?
No, it was no. It was after that. Yeah,
I showed my age.
Screaming.
My heart.
Screaming. But yeah, so we did that, and then that taught me a lot about CD duplication, and taught me that I never want to do that ever again by myself. So yeah, that was a really crazy experience. But we had a lot of hometown support, which was great. 2 years later, 2017, put together a full-length album, and at the time also hired saxophone players. Now we were a quintet instead of a quartet. And that project was called What Matters Most, and it featured Nichelle Mungo.
We love you, Michelle.
Featured my friend Cleveland Jones and some other artists as well. And that project for me, like 2017 was for me when I really started to pay attention to like how social media was affecting the world. So the whole concept behind the record was it's really easy to get lost in the chaos of the world. So what are the things that really matter most to you? Like when you strip all that shit away and it's just you.
Fair.
What actually matters the most to you? And there were some songs that like there's a song on there, Wisdom, that features my really dear friend Alonso Demetrius, great trumpet player. We went to Berkeley together. That song called Wisdom is a song that I wrote in tribute to my grandfather, who at the time was suffering with illness and stuff. And that was really challenging for me to experience because my grandfather was like this great pillar of like everything for me. And watching this seemingly larger than life figure kind of fail in health was really major for me. So that song was impactful. The bonus song on that track is called Holding On, a tribute to a friend. And my very first vocalist for my band was this guy, Ronald Lane, went by RJ, who again went to college together. And I loved RJ's voice. Like the first time I heard it, we were in I think it was music theory or oral skills class. And I heard his voice and I was like, you sound like a combination between like John Legend, Gnarls Barkley, and somebody else. It was like,
because you know how I feel about Gnarls Barkley.
Yes.
I love
Gnarls. And so I had like fallen in love with his
CeeLo
voice.
Green.
Right. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey man, like, are you gigging? And he was like, not really. I want to be gigging more. And I was like, well, I'm putting this band together and I would love to have you involved, and he was all for it, and then he had reached out to me after a little while and was like, hey, like I can't afford to finish my degree at Berkeley, so I'm going back home to Mississippi to finish my degree there. And I was like, bro, I love you to death, but I'm not flying you up for every $60 gig at the bar, from Mississippi. Like it just ain't happening. And shortly after he moved back home, he was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer.
Oh, geez.
And he passed away not long after that diagnosis. And I felt absolutely horrible because I had been talking to him for a while about coming down to see him. And it was just a matter of getting money together, make that trip. And it just never happened. And I felt like a terrible friend. And I found that song by happenstance on YouTube. And it was like the only original song that I could ever find of his that he had put out in any sort of context. So we took that song and did an arrangement with the band, and that's where that song is. And I sang the lead vocals. This is the first time I sang on anything publicly. And we did that at the album release show that we had for that. And like I just remember like doing that song and then like breaking down. It was really tough because RJ meant a lot to me. We became really good friends in college, and it was the first time I had experienced losing somebody that was that impactful in my life. So that record meant a lot.
I'm just sitting here staring at you like, ooh, you so fine.
Screaming. And then fast forward, I didn't put music out for a while after that. That's because that's also when I started working and recording with a lot of other people. And then I got into my writing zone and wrote the song that's now my single that's out right now, which is Just Feels Right, which we released at the end of last year. And it features Nichelle Mungo and my great friend Gabe Childs on guitar. And that song was really fun to record. We recorded it live it was like a 10-piece band, full horn section, keys, bass, guitar. And then the vocals. So doing the vocals is fun. So I recorded the original vocals, and that was actually the version that was going to go out first with my vocal. And my manager at the time, Duffy Macri, shout out to you, Duffy, was like, I love the song. I think it's probably the best thing you've ever written. I think you need a different vocalist. And Duffy's career in music is incredible. Like 40 years in the New York
40
music
years
scene.
in the game.
Yeah, but like working with like the who's who. I mean, like Janet Jackson, like Madonna, like amazing screaming. So I was like, listen, if you think I should get another vocalist, she loved Nichelle. So she was like, get Nichelle to sing this, see how it sounds. Like, let's listen to it. And I'm like, I'm not in a place to argue with you. So let's go for it. So I remember reaching out to Nichelle and saying, hey, Duffy wants you to sing lead on this. And she was like, just feels wrong.
Sorry. Where did that come from? Bring it back.
So we tweaked it a little bit. And Nichelle, I was living in New Hampshire at this time. And Nichelle came up to my place in New Hampshire, and we tracked the vocals. There's actually a post on my Instagram of us, like in my studio room, like tracking those vocals.
Yes.
And I was super stoked. I love Nichelle. I've known Nichelle for probably about a decade now, and she's probably one of my closest friends. I love her to death.
Heart of gold.
Seriously.
But super talented.
Incredibly talented. So I love hanging out with her and just getting to vibe with her. So tracking the song was amazing.
Yes. And shout out to Tyrone. We love you.
It's true.
We love you too, Tyrone. That's her husband.
So yeah, so we finished that. I got it mixed and mastered by my friend Elijah Doyle, who is actually Rob's cousin. Go figure. Yeah, there's a long story about that. I'll tell you later. What?
Is he
Snake guy?
No.
Oh, yes. I had to think about what the fuck you were doing.
Well, I was trying to do it in code.
Screaming, but yes.
Oh.
What? Screaming. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, curiosity.
Fair.
Stab the cat.
Screaming. Anyway, but yes, so Elijah mixed and mastered that. And then we dropped it August, I think it was August 12th or August 22nd. I can't remember, one of those 2 days of last year, 2022. And it did better its first week of being out than my second album did in its first quarter of being out.
The song is just right.
I was like, yeah.
That's a happy day.
Yeah. But yeah, so since I have some new music that'll get released this year, which I'm very excited about.
Y'all, it's good. I got to sing the backgrounds for that.
You did?
Well, not on the album, but live.
Live, yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited for that because I haven't put anything out. Well, I haven't put last year I did that, but I haven't really like focused on putting out music since that second album. So Just Feels Right was kind of like jumping back into it, and now to have a couple of other songs ready to go is a nice feeling for sure. So,
yeah, which we are excited to hear. When I tell y'all it's bangers, he got good bops, he got good vibes, but also y'all really get to hear Jeremy just sing, and it's good singing too. Range. I'm like, I don't think I could do this every day.
Scream.
But no,
I can't do it every day. That's for sure.
I'm just kidding. You can. You have the voice for it. I'll watch. But no, I'm proud of your work, and also, even on She's Bad, he's the trumpet. He's the horn section for She's Bad, which took She's Bad to another level. I already had the track. Built out. I had the song. Everything was ready to go. And the only extra layer that was added to that was the horns. And that's what everyone talks about. They're just like, those damn horns are just great. Like it's those two things. This was like, well, three things. It's like, of course, vocally, you did great, but they're like those horns in your voice. Just art was a good mashup. And speaking of, my college professor, who was a very very huge person in my life, mind you, he was like 6'5", but he took time to develop me as a person, and he would always go back and talk to my mom and my dad and say, Mr. Patton he works hard, he's diligent, and he's got a lot of potential. He just hasn't tapped into it yet. And so I finally shared the song with him, and he sent me a message tonight actually, and was just pouring nothing but good feedback. And he's like, I love the swag, I love the groove of it. And he's like, the horn section was a wonderful accent. And every time anyone compliments the horns, I'm just like, yeah, that's my baby. We mash well together, and that's instantly what I think of. But the horns just set it off.
So you know what's funny with this is whenever you tell me about somebody reaching out to you about the song, you're always like, they always talk about the horns, blah, 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 blah. Every time I've had a conversation about the song, it's literally just been about the vocals. And I think that's because most of the people that reach out to me about the song already know I play trumpet. Mm-hmm. So they're like, nah, we know that's dope. But the vocals, though, so it's just interesting because he's always like, maybe they're talking about them horns. And I'm like, maybe they're just talking about you.
They're talking about the whole work, the body of work. And yeah. I feel like we both did the thing. Also, thank you, Jeremy, for finding the musicians to play on there, y'all. You know, it wasn't cheap, but we made it work.
We did make it work. Yeah, shout out to my team for sure.
Yes,
Jerome Pitts on the keys.
I was just about to get into it, but you beat me to it. Jerome, Justin on the bass.
Yep.
We have Will on the guitar, and I have to give a special shout out to Mark. Mark was the second person to hop on without any questions asked. It was between those three, right? Yeah. The first number one, and then after that it was Jerome and Mark. Just came out of nowhere, but they have been a tremendous blessing. But the gift that they have just complemented the record so well. I was just like, I love them, and I have so much love for them in general, as well as Justin. Getting to meet Justin personally, I know this is just a part where I really got to shout these people out. Like, I got to meet these guys in person, and they were just phenomenal, as well as the person who mixed and mastered the work, which is Mike. I don't know his last name.
Mike Grant. Yeah, Mike Grant.
Yes, Mike Grant. Bravo.
Yeah, he did the thing.
Yeah, he did. They all did the thing. The only person I have not gotten to meet was Will, which I've heard great things about. And again, that man is a really good guitar player.
Amazing guitar player.
Amazing. But the people I did get to meet, their energies matched exactly the energy that they put on that recording. Like, they played with passion and they played with love, and that's what you get when you meet them, passion and love. And I just really enjoyed the open energy that they gave me in the welcome. So
yeah, they were super excited to meet you too. Like all those guys, when they found out that you were going to come with me up for those shows, you know, I mean, like I told you, like even Jerome didn't even meet you and like was calling me like, yo, I just wrote this crazy hook to this thing. I want Sanpriest on it. Like his voice is going to be perfect. You know, like these.
And they don't even know I was spiraling out of control.
Screaming.
I'm going to quit.
Nah, but like that, for me, like that just goes back to talking about how dope you are and like recognizing the gift that you really do possess, because like you're dope as fuck.
Now,
like there's no
making me blush, man.
That good, because people need to know, if they haven't known already, this motherfucker
screaming.
No, you can sing, baby. You can really sing. You do the damn thing. And like I told you, when it comes to somebody like Jerome, I've known Jerome a long time. That man don't smile about shit. He's like super hard. I can be a jerk when it comes to that kind of stuff. Jerome is like straight faced. You don't know if he's happy, sad, mad, like not even alive. You don't even know.
And I'm gonna take that moment and I'm gonna say, I know I saw that man smile at me twice, as well as I got it on video. I got it on video.
But you know, like I already knew you were dope, but to see the people that I've worked with so closely for so many years get to witness that, experience it from afar, but then get to witness that in person, and like through just a couple of minutes of music. The song is not a long song. It's, it's a 3-minute song, so, but for real though, and like, even like Nichelle,
I love that one, man.
like, if you think about the names that I've dropped, the names that she can drop, that she's worked with, Shaka Khan, to name others, and she's over here like, who is he? Where did he come from? Like, but all these things, it's like every one of those musicians that was involved was like, yo, this is dope. Like, this song is fire. The vocals are dope. Like, everything that you did
there
is
go,
dope.
pouring.
Because it's important to note, like, it bothered me when we had that moment. You were showing me all that music, and you were like, yeah, people have like overlooked me for a long time. And I'm sitting here listening to all the stuff that you have, and I'm like, that makes no sense. And
don't make me get emotional, because I am a thug, and I don't
screaming. But seriously, like,
we're gonna edit that.
Nope, don't edit that. Keep that shit in there. I'm gonna put it on an Instagram story, because I have it recorded here on my phone too. So,
because I was about to say I got all control, baby. But you just
accept that one.
You made me gag.
So, but I'm saying that to say, like, even though we had some delays in getting it out, because we wanted to get She's Bad out sooner than we did, it didn't take that long.
It really didn't.
So for people to say like, oh yeah, you're dope, like, we'll I want to help you, and then nothing gets done
for 2 years,
that makes no sense to me. Like, we did this in 3 months, less than. And the only reason it was because we had various delays that popped up with other people, and like I said, like, that's the downfall of working with live musicians, is like, you can't control what happens in their life. So if something comes up, we're stuck.
Fair.
But you're dope. And everybody that's heard you, got to experience you, has heard the song. They're all saying the same things. Hell, I make one post on Facebook, and suddenly you got airtime in Germany, the UK, France, Chicago, Detroit, same fucking region, Cleveland. Like,
but also, like, a lot of that stuff wouldn't even have come about had it not been for your assistance. Like, I work my ass off. Like, I work hard. You give me a task, I do it. But also sometimes it just takes one person just to share something. And so I appreciate you not only doing that, but teaching me the importance of sharing even more content of other people, especially people who look out for you, but also paying attention to the spaces that I try to give my gift to. Because a lot of those people are not here to help my gift or develop my gift. And out of my whole life, I can count on one hand how many times I've given my gift to people who actually help my gift grow, or help my gift to get heard without feeling like this is a benefit of them. Like, they're not. You're one of them. There's, again, one hand how many people I can count just wanted to work with me because they thought I was dope, also believed in me, and wanted to see me go to another level, and not just keep me where I was only accessible and useful to them. And I've experienced that from a lot of people. That's why I was very protective of me when you came around. But also, I'm just like, this white man, me, a white man,
screaming,
blew my whole mind. Oh God, please don't call yourself a snowfall. I am not turned on by that. You are just an Italian man that just so happens.
I'm just referencing a previous episode. Do you not recall that episode? You don't recall that episode?
Yeah.
Screaming.
It was an amazing episode where we referenced Snowfall.
You're going to have to go back and look at that. I think it was your second episode.
Bitch, not you remembering my episodes more than me. Yes, I do remember Snowfall. But I don't remember what I said about it, but I remember the conversation. It's a really good show that I had with Charisma. And shout out to Charisma and her messy ass.
We'll talk about your snowfall later.
Oh, just almost close my talk about your snowfall.
There it is.
So this is my snowfall. That charisma was hinting at.
Screaming. I remembered.
Insert cut. We'll talk about your snowfall later. Ooh, charisma. It just tickled me all over again.
Screaming.
But again, could talk about your music all day, but I still want to get a little chance to.
It's about to be a really long episode.
No, I know. That's why I oh, it's already at 55 minutes. Wow, it's definitely going to be part 1, part 2, which is going to be dope because you guys are going to love these commercials.
Screaming.
But so the one thing I wanted to say is, when it comes down to the song Tribute to a Friend, I don't want to just skip over that, because dealing with death in general, it's not the easiest thing to do. I have a song that I wrote for my mom, and I have not even tried to even work it or put anything to it because it just pulls something in me that I don't think I'm ready to address.
I know what you mean.
So again, that's why I wanted to take time to go back, because even referencing it is a step in the right direction. If this person had a really good song, then yes, it's the song that needs to be heard. I will rework a song 8 times until it just feels right. Right. So, I'm good at these. But no, with that being said, like, it's just important to take those emotions, take those energies, and when you don't have the words to say, or if you miss moments, take your art, take your best gift and present it to them in a way where even they hear it in heaven. You know, so I thought that was dope how you channeled your emotions and you put it into a rework of someone else's art to pay homage to them. So bravo to you, but also I think that that's brave to do, because it is hard. And I would like to hear you sing it one day. No rush, because I'm not ready yet. But when you are ready, I'm always ready to hear it.
Fair.
Also, great work with Tyrese, because what and I cannot wait for the rest of your work. With that being said, we already talked about the brass. We really highlighted the man. Now it's time to talk about the
reptiles.
No, drum roll.
Oh.
The reptiles. So
oh my gosh.
But this is going to be extra cool, because now we're going to pull things out and we're going to show you our snakes. These snakes.
I'm so sick of you.
Don't run, don't push, don't fight. You know you want to take time to love on me. You need that black boy joy. You want that black boy joy. Let me take control of the world. Black boy joy. You need that black boy joy. I'm the blind. I can feel what you feel. Let me take control of the high. All you gotta do is let me love you one time. Hey, one time. Yeah.
Boom, you guys, guess what? I have released my first single, She's Bad. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Music. You can find it on any streaming platform. All you have to do is type in Sanpriest and I will pop up, because I am the one and only Sanpriest. So please take time to listen to She's Bad. Tell me what you think and comment below.